Welcome back to the Len Miller Room and this segment of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Tom Hodges has joined us, and Coach, been a decent week for the Eagles.
Better week.
Yeah.
It's a better week than last week.
So,
but, of course, I don't know if it could have got much worse than 2 weeks ago. But it's a better week, a little bit more to build upon than this time last week. So proud of that and encouraged about our step forward after taking a couple steps back.
split over the weekend. Saturday, Jacksonville State, probably the best start of the season. We talked about that in the pregame last night, the fact that you came out in a hostile situation, a situation where, if people don't know, Jacksonville State has a long losing streak. But that's the dangerous part about Jacksonville State.
Absolutely. It's the most dubious game to potentially play in. And, they had a great crowd there. I was really surprised. They had a great crowd there. The arena's really tight and kind of a small environment. But, there was a bunch of people there at the tip of the women's game. And you're playing a team with nothing to lose, zero. It's the old adage in horse training that you don't want to mess with that horse backed up in the corner that's a little wounded, because they're going to do everything they can to come swinging and fighting out, and that's exactly who we played. So I was proud of our start. We lulled a little bit. We kind of plateaued after we got up 24, 25 points there, and then did the necessary things to get a big road victory.
Jacksonville State have some nice athletes. They just haven't been able to put it together. And, we talked on the pregame show before the Jacksonville State game, the fact that they've been in a lot of the games. This is not, a lot of times blowout games. And, it's just once you get snake bitten like that, let me tell you from experience, sometimes it just you're playing, not to win. You're just playing, and you think, okay, when is something going to happen?
Sure. And we've experienced some of that, Jay. We've experienced some of that last season and this season. I think some of it goes with youth. I've never been one, I was thinking about this morning about our inconsistencies and watching the two films from this road trip. I've never been one to look for an excuse or, it's not why me, it's what now. And we can't make our players grow up any quicker. I think that's some of the things Jacksonville State's going through, some of the things we're going through. Us as a staff just has to meander through the season with them on that and grow with them to facilitate the best successes that we can.
The weekend trip, I think Kenzie Arledge had a great game and had a great weekend. I mean, she is learning to play that 5 spot. It seems like a little better and a little better.
No doubt. I'm really proud of Mac. My wife was giving me a lecture this morning as I was riding in, telling me how much we needed to use Mac more in the offense. She's probably got a point. After 2 straight double-figure games, really proud of her and just her continued maturation. Therese responded with 2 20-point games this weekend. So, Jay, when we get everybody on the same page, when we get 5, as Norman Dale once said, we get 5 pistons firing together, this could be a really nice basketball team, and we can beat anybody in the league. And to go to Belmont and have a halftime lead and be right there, really a single possession game till about the last minute or so. We can beat anybody in this league, but we've just got to get all 5 guys on the same page together.
So am I going to see a piece of white paper rolled up in your hand hollering picket fence? Let's run the picket fence.
Well,
don't let the paint dry.
Eric says if you get ejected, just let me know. Just tell me. So I was close last night, Jay. I apologize, but I got a little overheated last night. I didn't feel like we got on the fair side of things there. In some instances, got a little overheated, certainly out of my character a little bit. But yeah, I know how hard our girls are working. I know how hard we've been on them, and try to toughen them up. So when they don't get rewarded for those things, it's frustrating.
Well, I've seen a coach say a lot, because I was right beside you last night, and, what you got your technical for was the fact that that young man wanted to be the center of attention. That's my opinion. You don't have to comment because I don't want you to get in trouble. But the fact that, if I'm Eric, sometimes, that second technical, even if it's on the bench, the head coach has to go.
Right.
You can tell how loyal Eric is, because I think I would have said, I don't think you'll call another one.
Yeah, I would just hand Eric, I always keep my scouting report rolled up as a reference. I would just hand him the scout. And
you can tell now if things,
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
So I think they're loyal to you, because they could have been on that bench.
Right.
Going, I don't think you'll call another one.
Yeah, you ain't got the guts.
Yeah. So, but you had a great line last night with the one continuation foul they called on us. The fact
Thunderation.
that it was 2 steps past the whistle, 2 steps, the shot, the basket, and they count. And you mentioned that the Grizzlies played in Memphis, and this wasn't the association.
It's unbelievable. I mean, but again, that's life on the road, that's the way that it goes. I was proud that 1 week removed from one of our lowest points, not within the season, but within my 3 years here, to respond the way that we did, and we really executed a nice game plan. Eric had the Belmont Scout and did a really nice job with it. Just really proud of our response.
People don't realize just when you're on the road, the time and effort, even when you're at home, it's easier probably because you have the facilities. But, we go from Jacksonville State, you go back to the hotel, you're in their meeting room, you get a meeting room, you have your projector, and, you and your staff get together and decide exactly what you're going to get. You get the films via computer, and then you start breaking it down, and you spend a lot of time in that meeting room from the time that the game's over until the time you leave to go to the next city.
Right, and moreover than the coaching staff is the players. The players are we try to get the players out of that hotel room as much as possible, because you just don't want any kind of lull to set in. So it's tough on them to be gone for 4 days, and I thought some of that might have crept up late in the second half at Belmont. So all of a sudden you see shots a little shorter than what they normally are, but it's life on the road. Everybody has to do it. I think we've been pretty good on the road. I think we played our best basketball on the road. What I told the team in the post game is, now let's take our intensity that we've played with on the road, and let's bring it back to Johnson Arena for the next 4 games.
Belmont, the Curb Event Center, pretty nice little place, isn't it?
It's a pretty nice little palace. They put a nickel or two into it. They do it well. They do it well at Belmont.
We found out, talking to Matt Shabert afterwards, that it's 10 years old. I wouldn't have never, because that's my first trip in there. I did NAI games when Belmont had the old place.
Sure.
But to have that place, thinking that now it's 10 years old with the security they have, with the kids they have working on the digital network and everything, it's pretty nice little organization down there.
No, Belmont, they do it right. I mean, obviously basketball is a huge emphasis for them. It's their flagship sport, and they have the resources to pour into it, being a private institution. So hats off to them for being a really nice addition to the OVC. They've made the OVC better. They've made it a better league, and in turn they've made Morehead State better just by raising the profile. So we're all benefit from Belmont being in our league. We certainly don't want to be on the downward side looking up. We want to be on the upward side looking down. I feel like we're right at the cusp of that.
Of course, Therese Robinson last night, you mentioned another 20-point game, becomes only the 12th player in Eagle women's history to score 400 points in a season. And, she's got 410 points now this season, and, she's carried a big load for your team.
Huge. And really did not expect she did not expect to be in the role and the position that she is. So I credit Therese a lot for maturing light years from where she was this time last year, and certainly 2 lifetimes from this time 2 years ago when she was a freshman. So really proud of Therese. Again, we had a little hiccup a week ago, the home game against Belmont. She responded really well. She's done a nice job carrying this team, the scoring load, and really starting to become a full-fledged leader of this basketball team and of this program.
about this time last year that she got hot, and I think she scored double figures 3 of the last 4 games or the last 3 games, and then 19 of 24 this year, something like that. So, I mean, she's been counted upon heavy, and she's answered the call for the most part, and that's all you can ask for.
No doubt. She's very talented young lady. She shoots the 3 extremely well. She's got she can get by any one-on-one defender. She's just a really nice player, and I'm glad that we're all getting to see her blossom into the type of player that we knew that she could be, and now she has the confidence to go out there and do it. Once we get everybody else with that same confidence level at the same time, that's where the potential of this team lies.
Belmont, a very fine team. We make All-Americans out of Molly Ertz, but she hits 10 threes. She's got 30 points against us, or maybe 30 points this year. I think all of them have come via the threes. She's hit 10 threes against us. Great shooter from Louisville.
Right, and it's a really easy scout. It's one of those things, easy to recognize, hard to stop. We just lost her 3-4 times. She didn't score in the second half. Once we were able to talk about it, make the adjustment, we just lost her on the backside of the zone. But I would expect a graduation invitation from Molly Ernst because we've made her pretty good over the last week or so.
Well, on the trip from Jacksonville State to Belmont, we have to hit this for you so you can get some points at home. We did stop.
That's right.
At the big city of Manchester.
That's right.
And I was expecting to see the sign. I might have missed the sign, though.
I think you did.
Need to explain a little bit.
The sign and the statue, Coffee County, Tennessee, Manchester, the home of my beautiful wife, the real Coach Hodges, Hillary. Of course, Hillary was a tremendous standout basketball player at Coffee County, and I don't know how you missed the statue and just the whole shrine that is to Hillary Maxwell.
Yeah, if they knew she was coming back, we could have had a parade.
Ticker tape, yeah.
I think next time we'll work on that.
Probably. When I'm in Tennessee, I am Mr. Hillary Maxwell. That's all I am, because she is the superstar down there, obviously, with her coaching career there. Hillary's just a great resource for me, to be able to talk about the game and really to provide a unfiltered point of view. It is really nice. Sometimes I don't like what she says, but
so should I get her to come down and do color for me sometimes?
Depends on how much color you want, but it would certainly
spice up the thing.
It would spice up everybody's life if we had Coach Maxwell on the call.
See, we could disguise that. We could just say Coach Maxwell, and not tell anybody. And then when she says, my husband's an idiot or something like that,
that would be mild. That would be the PG version.
It was nice to go through, and we were done Murfreesboro. That's your own stopping ground too, and you realize, as Middle left the Ohio Valley Conference eons ago, just how good we had it in a way when you had the Tennessee States and the Middle Tennessees and everything in that Nashville metro area.
Sure,
because 30 minutes. Nowadays, of course, Middle's going to Conference USA, which we wish them luck.
Yeah, absolutely. But the OVC footprint seems to be broadening when you talk about Charleston, Illinois to Jacksonville, Alabama. And then, of course, we're the easternmost school in the OVC. So it makes those Monday night games tough for our young ladies.
We're always on the road Monday night at the furthest point of any trip, I guess.
It's unbelievable. It's really tough on them because today is their quote unquote off day, but we get in at 2:30 in the morning and they've got to go to class. So certainly they're student athletes. I'm really proud of our work in the classroom right now, and they're really carrying the banner in that regard, making sure their studies are correct, so that takes them to the basketball floor.
Eastern Kentucky coming up on Saturday. Chrissy Roberts, they're right in the middle of the OVC action.
No, they're very talented. Got a group of 5, 6, 7 seniors that are really carrying them. They're playing really well. We saw them firsthand in Richmond, a game that I felt like we could have won, and a couple plays. They're one of the most physical teams in the league. We'll certainly prepare for a physical, tough game, very inside-oriented with Jay Barber and Alex Jones. So, it's a great game to come back to. Look forward to playing really well, and we're going to look to do everything that we can. And I think it's a blue out on Saturday to really welcome the Colonels the right way into Johnson Arena and represent Morehead State the best we can.
5:15 will be the tip-off of the women's game. The men's game will follow about 7:30. Of course, all the action will be on the Eagle Sports Network beginning at 5 o'clock. You can hear the pregame comments of Coach Hodges prior to tip-off.
Right. We did forget. We ran into Dolly on the ride down.
Did you?
To Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
Remember? We ran into Dolly.
At the rest stop.
At the rest stop. We should have brought her along.
Well,
we should have gone remote.
We could. You know what? We need to start taking the flip cam with us and just start doing segments from the road.
We do.
I went to Vittles yesterday.
Vittles in Brentwood, Tennessee.
In Brentwood. Must be a famous place, because when I went in there, they have all the autographs of all the people. And the key story of this whole thing, and our Lindsay back there will like this story.
Lindsay, pay attention, Linz. This is your segment of the show.
We were at Vittles, which is kind of a mom and pop place.
Right.
And they have all the autographs, and they have Keith Urban's autograph.
Oh, wow.
And right across was a little one-place jewelry store.
Right.
And he had ate there and walked across and bought Nicole Kidman's engagement ring there.
My goodness gracious.
So, and the store's not famous, not pretty. It's kind of looks like a duck, but.
So the moral of the story is, Lindsay, you need to go to Vittles. You need to go hang out at Vittles. Just hang out there, see who walks through the door. You might get some jewelry out of it.
See, we're still working. Daniel won't put up, the graphic that we had. We caught, the through the years, Kenny Rogers, and we had the pictures of Lindsay growing up, playing soccer, and then, but, he won't.
The Bachelorette Morehead edition.
Yeah, and, we had her Twitter handle and, her home phone number and everything. But he won't put it up.
Yeah.
We went all through that. So how we still need to give away some of the loudmouth stuff one of these days.
We do. Speaking of, Jay, I know I've arrived. I got my first piece of hate mail last night.
Oh.
Hate mail on my email address.
Which
is t.hodges@moreheadstate.edu.
Daniel's rolling his eyes because he knows he has to put up a graphic now. What's the Twitter?
Twitter handle is @Coach Hodges. But got my first piece of hate mail, which just tickled me to death. I know that I've arrived when we're getting hate mail. Controversy creates cash. Somebody once famously said that. So
didn't like the outfit, or doesn't like?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just really contentious. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't agree with my moral and political choices or affiliations. I'm not sure, but just really was contentious about our program and myself. So, but certainly take it as a compliment that somebody takes the time to
write it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is kind of silly. We're in the get ready to.
Well, there's no silliness involved in our segment, Jay.
This is a pretty good one. We're getting ready to go on last night. It's a tough loss. To say you sometimes don't take losses well is maybe an understatement. So we're getting ready to go on, and this dude from Nashville, comes right to you. Before you go on, can I take a picture?
Yeah. Yeah.
You had the coat of many colors on last night.
I did. I had the Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dream Coat on last night.
After waiting from 3 o'clock to about 4:30 to the room on Sunday, I felt like marrying Joseph because I didn't think there were a room at the end. Because I sat out front for about an hour and a half waiting on the room. So.
Right. Well, I'm surprised they didn't ask you to hop in with the construction crew at that hotel.
That was
interesting,
Let's
huh?
just put it that way.
Yeah.
So Eastern coming up on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening here at Johnson Arena, 5:15 will be the tip-off, and we look for a huge crowd, a
Big
good crowd.
Big crowd. Please, we're begging you. I'll come knock on your door. I will shamelessly ask, please, come out, support our young ladies. We want a early arriving crowd and a late leaving crowd. Coach Woods and his bunch need your support. Our bunch certainly needs your support. We have a great opportunity to really get on a roll here in the OVC and get right in the middle of the conference race.
See you next week.
Jay Money.
All right. Tom Hodges, head coach of Morehead State. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.